Welcome to Truck and Travel. I'm Derek.
I'm Cinnamon.
And this video is sponsored by
Hyfield Trucking.
Yeah. If you're interested in doing what we do and driving one of these trucks for a living, reach out to Hyfield Trucking at the link and phone number in the video description. Let them know Truck and Travel sent you. Come on. All right, you guys, we want to remind you, if you want to do better than us, go with Hyfield Trucking and use their mentorship program. They set you up for success. We didn't have anything like that when we first started out, and so we kind of went into this blind, but we did the best we could.
It was a lot of guessing.
Yep. All right, here we go, week 15. We picked up on Monday. We started out from home, so we did headed to Erie, Pennsylvania on Monday, and then it drops on Tuesday in Indianapolis, Indiana. Cinnamon, please tell us more about this load.
So this load is it's just one pallet. It's 450 pounds, so very light, very small, little guy. It is a temperature load, so the set point for this load is 5 Celsius, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Derek, what kind of miles are we looking at?
All right, Cinnamon, we're looking at 408 loaded miles. With deadhead, that's 664. Ooh. Break that down for us. Let the fine folks know, what does that end up being pay per mile?
If we're just looking at the loaded miles or the run miles, then it's $4.60 per mile, which is fantastic. Yep. But of course, we like to look at all the miles. So
because that's what matters.
Yes, we're not just going to boast on the loaded miles and leave it at that. Well, anyways,
looks excellent.
So we're going to go ahead and add all the miles, so including the deadhead miles, it brings it down to $2.83 per mile, which is still good. For us personally, our goal is to always stay above $2 for all the miles. So $2.83, pretty good.
So what did it pay, Cinnamon?
And it paid.
Tell them, we want to know. What did it pay? So why we're here?
Paid $1,876.17.
It doesn't sound real impressive, but we also got to focus on the pay per all miles.
And it's staying in the general area where other good loads are.
Oh, yeah.
That you
it's a hot
should
area.
be able to get another load after this.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we dropped off in Indianapolis, Indiana. We were fortunate enough to get a load that picks up the following day, a little bit south, but it's still the same state, in Mount Vernon, Indiana. Picks up Wednesday, drops on Thursday in Dothan, Alabama. Cinnamon, please tell us about this load.
So this load had more pallets than the last load, but still it's a light load, under 1,000 pounds. So it's 4 pallets, 997 pounds. So still not a huge load or anything by any means. We're not here to compare though, because yeah, we usually have tiny loads and yeah. Anyways, so this load was a temperature load. The set point for this one was also 5 Celsius, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. So Derek, what did the miles look like?
The miles look like this, Cinnamon. 550 run miles, and then the loaded miles with the deadhead, so the all miles ends up being 745 miles. So this really has to be good pay, because we consider, you know, Dothan, Alabama not the best area to get out of. All right, Cinnamon, give them the bigger picture. Let them know what happened.
So if you're looking at just the loaded miles or the run miles, those were $4.04 per mile for all of those miles. So when you go ahead and add in the deadhead, it brings it down to $2.99 per all miles, which is still really good, at least for us. That you know, it goes above what we want.
Without a mentorship, so I thought that was good.
Yeah. So this load actually paid $2,224.10.
Yes. All right. All right. So this week ended up being a short week. Only 2 runs, technically, but we did pick up a load on Friday, but it doesn't drop until the next week. And with FedEx, how they deal with it is they consider that load next week's load. So that's how we're going to do it. It's going to be on the next video. It's an over the weekend run. So that's awesome to do that. When you can do that, it's awesome. You can stack up cash like that. So we were able to get something else. Tune in next time to figure out what that was and what that looks like. So this is going to be technically a short week money-wise. All right, Cinnamon, go ahead and break down the week.
So with those 2 loads, or our week, the total miles was 1,409 miles, which is lower than what we usually average per week. So again, just 2 loads, and you know, the pay per all the miles were $2.91. So that's well above our $2 you know, goal.
That's great.
Our personal goal. It's not like a, you know,
and we was available for loads, and we lined one up, which you won't know about till next video.
Yep. So the total pay for this week, it was $4,100.27, which is lower than what we tried to bring in for the week.
Yep.
But sometimes, even when you have a load that starts on one week and ends the next week, like since they go ahead and count once it's complete, dropped off, that means that next week might be a bigger week. So what we like to do is we like to take the 2 weeks together and kind of figure out an average, you know. So like when we have this week where it's like it hasn't meet our $5,000 goal, we're not too disappointed if the next week, you know.
Right, but we don't go by 2 weeks, we go by.
Right, I know, but I'm just, that's a coping mechanism I guess I had.
Yeah,
like just
something
to make
that she's got to deal with.
It's something that, like, so then I wasn't too disappointed, you know, because you will have those weeks where you might not meet your goal, but then the following week you might meet your goal and more, and then
keep stacking on that. Yeah, that's success. But
it's a good way to look at it, just so you don't get.
A great goal, I think, is to keep your pay per all miles as high as possible. If you love living out on the road, live out on the road and get them pay per all miles as high. So that way, if you want to keep driving, you still got hours left, you can be like, well, that next one doesn't pay the best, but I'm able to drive and it doesn't bring my overall pay per all miles down that much.
Yeah.
So as long as you can make it make sense, take that sense, stack that cash. Something like that, I don't know. Sounded good. All right, this is week 15 so far in our career, just breaking down the numbers for you guys. All right, the total amount of loads that we've done at this point is 46 loads.
The total amount of freight that we have taken, like weight-wise, is 48,383 pounds.
The total amount of pallets or pieces that we've done is 108.
The average weight per load is just over 1,000 pounds. It's 1,051 pounds.
All right, the total miles we've driven, all miles so far, 37,336.
The average miles per week that we end up completing is 2,489 miles.
All right, the average pay per week. Remember, you have those good weeks and those bad weeks. This week is going to bring that average down, and it's $5,577.86.
The total gross that we brought to the truck so far, before any expenses or anything, up until this point, is $83,667.93.
Yep. And my favorite part is the pay per all miles average, and that's $2.24. If you want to figure out what we took home as drivers, roughly after fuel surcharge, it ends up being about 0.38. So you take the gross to the truck, let's say $83,667.93, times that by 0.38, and that's what me and Cinnamon take, roughly.
Yeah.
Guys, we really do appreciate you guys, you know, hanging out with us, going through the breakdowns. Please leave comments, you know, how are things going for you? If you're in the trucking industry, you know, what's your experience out there? Are you having a good time? Are you having a bad time?
What's the weather like in your area? Is it nice and sunny and hot? Oh my.
Is it, what's your favorite truck stop? You know what I mean? This truck stop actually has a really clean restroom. I just used it.
Yeah, It's nice.
5 stars.
Would recommend.
Would recommend. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time.
On to the next one.
On to the next one. See ya.
Oh, don't.
Adios.
You snuck that in.
Peace.